James Eng here. What I'm about to share with you is both a sad but also joyful video. We are going to pay tribute to an amazing woman named Jessie Lee Ward. If you're not familiar with Jessie Lee, she was the top network marketer in the world. She was an incredible entrepreneur. She was an incredible woman. She was an incredible leader, a friend, and mentor to so many. And tragically, she lost her battle with stage 4 cancer after putting up an incredible fight and publicized it to the world. And I had the opportunity of doing one of the last public interviews with her just 10 days before her unfortunate passing. And I was debating on if I was going to share this or not, because during this, she had just received a very positive PET scan. In fact, she was fighting her cancer and things are looking really, really good. But unfortunately turned in a negative direction. And I had done literally 10 days before Jessie Lee's passing, I had the opportunity to interview her with this thumbnail. And we discussed her cancer story. We discussed network marketing. We discussed her faith. And I was really thinking, like, should I leave this up there or what should we do? And I truly believe that God had it this way, that we were able to put this interview together because we were able to display Jessie Lee in who she was, an incredible leader, filled with faith, filled with hope, and some rare angles in a rare moment where I believe it encapsulates who Jessie Lee was in the right light. So I wanted to share that with you and with the world. If you know her and this impacts you, be sure to subscribe and share this as well too. If you don't know her yet, this is going to be a great opportunity to get a chance to meet her as well. But Jessie Lee, you're going to live on forever through every single life that you impacted, mine included. And I thank you, friend. I thank you, sister. Until we see you soon in eternity. For now, I give you the last interview with Jessie Lee Ward. What's builder? Absolutely. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And this is a special podcast that you're going to want to share automatically, because if you've ever been in business or life at all, you live or breathe, you've dealt with challenges. So today we're going to discuss what to do in the face of impossibility and how to have unstoppable faith in your life and business with the one and only Jessie Lee Ward. Jessie Lee, how are you doing, sister?
Hey, I'm doing awesome, James. Like, I feel so good. So it's great to see you again. It's great to have a conversation with you. And you've been so consistent over I would say the last probably 18 months or so. I've seen you be just so consistent. So I want to make sure, I do see you, and I've seen your platform and your, I guess your unstoppable consistency would be a great way to describe it. So I want to make sure you know that I see you growing and building, and it's been awesome to watch.
Thank you. It's an absolute honor. And I want to start with an honor to you, actually. And if you guys haven't followed Jessie Lee yet, you got to follow her on all platforms. I see Dyla here. I see Josette. What's going on, everyone? But Jessie Lee, it's because of you and all of your training, which is what got me out of my shell. I started going live everywhere. I started just doing everything consistent, just everything. So I just wanted to honor you for that. Thank you for getting me out of my shell.
Wow. Well, I hope it is paying off. It looks good. So I hope the success is paying off also, not just in your reach, because you've been you've certainly been putting in the work.
Thank you.
Proud of you to see.
It absolutely has. Well, guys, we're going to get right into everything here, because when it comes to overcoming challenges, we have different levels of challenges. And Jessie Lee, you've been through, for those that don't know your background, you started getting into business and network marketing, wanted to make $300 a month. Then you rose through all the different levels of ranks that you could imagine. And now you're the top network marketer in the world, and so many other businesses too. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of challenges in that sense already. But even for someone like you, where it looks like you're so unstoppable, this last year has been crazy. And you got diagnosed with the craziest thing that anyone could get diagnosed. But can you tell us what happened? I'm not going to give it all away, by the way. Watch Jessie Lee's YouTube channel. She has an amazing document on that, but just to walk us through and catch us up there.
Yeah. So really, I wanted to dedicate my life to health a little bit more starting last year in May. And so I went on this fitness journey, and I was intentionally losing weight and never thought anything about it. So lost about 25 pounds from May last year until January this year. And that's not crazy, rapid, accelerated fat loss of any kind. That's like pretty steady, pretty steady fat loss. But I really felt good. And so January came and I said, I've been doing this for 6-7 months. I've been spending time, effort, energy into getting my health right, voluntary, meaning I couldn't get an MRI. We kept calling around. They kept saying, like, you're perfectly healthy. There's no signs of anything. Like, why do you want an MRI? I'm like, oh, and my results came back about a month later, and it said 2 hot spots popped up in my stomach and in my lower abdomen and the cecum area where your small and large intestine meet. And then the Gallery test came back and it said positive results for colon rectum cancer. And I was like, what? And a colonoscopy confirmed that, I think on the 16th, 17th of February this year. Went in for surgery. When pathology came back, I was staged as stage 4 cancer, colon cancer. And so it was the most shocking, humbling, debilitating my life, because I was going in the right direction. And it's interesting because I've always been somebody of faith anyway, which I guess you already know that, but your ability to learn to trust and to actually have faith, everybody can get to the other side of it and say, I had all the faith in the world that God was going to protect me and I was going to be fine. It's like, this whole thing has been ups and downs, an emotional roller coaster, but I've certainly never given up faith. And I really think God was probably whispering to me a lot, like, slow down. Like, what are you doing? Slow down, slow down. And I was probably just really not listening. So then you just get hit with one of these right over the head. And I slowed down.
And I want to go to the point of when you get that diagnosis. I love what you say. You didn't accept the prognosis, but you got the diagnosis. Whether it's that or any type of entrepreneurship, there's always going to be that moment of, oh man, this seems impossible. You talk about not losing faith. Like, walk us through the mindset of Jessie Lee when these crazy things happen. How do you not lose faith?
The whole crazy thing about this, James, is that I can tie every moment of this cancer journey as a direct parallel into business. And so I don't think anybody is like, in awe that Jessie Lee is, taking us on the journey and she's showing us what can be done and she's not using excuses and just because that's been my approach to life my whole life. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon. I wasn't handed anything. Nobody gave me a loan to start my first business. I did the old scrappiness and then credit card thing like so many of us do. And the ups and the downs of business are, like I said, a direct parallel to this. It's just this one's a little more threatening, so to speak, right? My first probably 4 years of entrepreneurship, I wanted to quit more than I wanted to stay. And I think too many of us, yourself included, you have success and people look at you and they put you on this pedestal of like, oh, it's always been easier for her. It's always been easy for him. Oh, everything came so easily. But I have all these memories of, and I'm like, I should quit and get a job. Or when I'm sitting there refreshing Facebook Messenger over and over again, like, if I refresh it one more time, maybe somebody's gonna show up, Lord. I've been there, it's like, what are the long-term implications of the decisions I make today? And I think about that all the time. So it's no different in business than it is for this. It's like the compound effect of business. Well, I started just like everybody else. I was broke. I needed $300 a month to pay rent, like you already told everybody listening. So I wasn't here thinking that, I would become number 1 in the world, or, I would accrue great wealth, or none of this stuff. No. It was the compound effect of showing up on those days when I didn't want to, certainly going to events that I didn't want to go to because I had a full-time job. So I've had moments of delusion in my business where it would just be easier to quit. And I just kept thinking, okay, but what about 5 years from now? What about 5 years from now? What about 5 years from now? And I do the same thing with the cancer thing. It's like, okay, no, I don't want to drink all this carrot juice. Celery juice every morning is annoying every morning. There's not yet been a morning that I wake up and I go, oh, it's celery time. I can't wait. Like, it doesn't exist. Okay. I don't feel like going to all the treatments. A lot of them don't feel good. I don't like a lot of this stuff. But what are the compound effects of me showing up? Well, 7.5, 8 months later, I'm already seeing crazy results, right? So mean, not crazy. Crazy is not the right word. It's like all planned the way it's supposed to be. But my discipline through something that so many people, and I commend these people, by the way, because I on my TikTok and stuff where I update people on the journey, and they'll say, I'm not as strong as you. Like I wouldn't have had the discipline to do. I had to do it. I've been doing it the traditional way, which there's nothing wrong with the traditional way, by the way. I'm not throwing any shade on anybody deciding to do chemotherapy or radiation or anything. I wish I had the courage to do what you've done. I wish I had the discipline to behave the way you do. I wish I had the mindset strong enough to not eat all the stuff that I want to eat when I'm in the middle of this journey, but I leave here and I go get Starbucks or whatever. And it just reminds me so much that God, like, thank God for entrepreneurship, because I've learned so much about mindset and hardships and the struggle and the discipline. Now it's just another mountain I got to climb. So let's get to climbing.
Just like that. Kingdom Builder, just think about the mindset that Jessie Lee just shared right there, is that things are going to always happen in our lives, right? Ed Milet and everyone says that things happen for us, not to us, but it's how we choose to respond to it. So I just see that it's like downloaded into your DNA now. It's like, all right, another challenge. This is just the standard operating protocol that we're going on. And now you see what's going on there. So I love that you share that. And by the way, nothing we say today is meant to have any medical claims or disclaimers or things like that. As well too. Everyone's on their own journey.
Yep.
And but I appreciate, Jessie Lee, that you're so open with your entire situation that's happening.
Well, it's kind of like entrepreneurship though. Also, here we go. Here come the parallels.
Oh yeah.
People say this to me all the time about business. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for going live so much. Thank you for training for free as much as you did. I trained for free for 12 years, never charged $1 for it, right? They say, thank you for showing behind the scenes on your Instagram stories. Thank you for showing this on TikTok. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for streaming. Thank you. Like, they tell me all this stuff all the time. Well, I just applied it to the cancer journey. Honestly. So here we are. What do you need to see? What do you need to know? And the thing is, I knew I wanted to share a lot about it because same reason I wanted to share as much as I did with the business stuff, because I was having a hard time finding the answers. So if I was having a hard time, how many books do I have to read to find out how to run this freaking business? Okay. Well, then other people felt the same way. Well, then I realized it's the exact same with cancer. Like nobody, like, go try to find out what cancer feels like. Anybody, go Google it. Good luck. No one talks about the pains you might feel somewhere. Nobody talks about what might happen. Oh, so people go, oh, is it good if your lymph nodes are swollen? Is it bad if your lymph nodes are swollen? Like, all this stuff that nobody talks about. And so I was like, you know what? If I very transparently take people through this journey, this will save people's lives.
Oh yeah.
And it's the same thing with business. Well, how have I helped so many people build so many businesses around the world for the last 12 years? Well, it's not rocket science. I've shown people the blueprint for so long, and there's been so many results that I love this because it's a legacy play. It's like, how many people have I actually impacted by just showing up and showing people how it's actually done, instead of saying, well, go read that book, go check out this blog, go listen to these 19 podcasts that.
Well, I'll be the testimonial to say I have for sure. So yes.
Thanks, James.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, but that's such an important point, Jessie Lee, because how do you achieve success? How do you achieve greatness in life? It's usually hidden behind some type of challenge. And are you willing to go through that and to search for those solutions? That's how I started this podcast, actually. I'm like, as someone of faith in business, what are the answers to faith-based business? And I'm like, I couldn't find it, just like how you couldn't find cancer and stuff like that. So I'd love to ask you this question regarding faith. Because I'm sure when you get a cancer diagnosis, all different types of thoughts and emotions run through your mind. And one of them might be, and we've all had this situation in life, why, God, why? This is not fair. Like, did you have any of those moments of even doubt in God? And how did you overcome that?
Wow, James, let's just throw me on the stake right away. Okay, fine. For sure. Like, anybody who says no to that is just lying. And it's not to say that I said, oh, I don't believe in you. It's more like, why is this my plan? Why me? Like, why? What did I do? Like, are you kidding me? And a lot of this isn't fair, or I want it taken away, or, but of course I say, like, the pain's the worst, but I don't want to give it to anybody. It's like, I say all these things. It's stuff like, I went into surgery and I've left the post up everywhere, of course, because I'm super transparent, but And I said, like, I've trusted that the doctors have removed all this from my body.
Mm.
Right. And a lot of it, of course, is the faith, is the I'm protected, I'm guided, etc. Okay. So I write this post. I'm like, oh, like cancer should have picked a weaker vessel. Let's go, which is so my mindset. But I really also went to that surgery thinking, just take it all out. Like when it's done, it's done. And then when I got stage 4, which there is no stage 5 for anyone with cancer, you know, mumbo jumbo, whatever. Of course I sobbed. And then I thought to myself, Jessie Lee, of course you would be stage 4. Of course it wouldn't be take a pill and it's gone. It's going to be just like everything else in your life. It's going to be the grind, the super disciplined. This is how you survive grind. And you're going to take people on this flipping journey and you're going to be open. Because I mean, honestly speaking, I could have told nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody, think about it. I could have just kept doing everything I was doing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing chemotherapy, so I don't look gaunt or anything like that. I could have kept going and been like my little big secret or something.
Yeah.
And then I realized that no. As crazy as it might sound to some people, especially non-believers, this is definitely supposed to motivate, encourage, inspire people. Whether that's to do things a different way or whether that's just to have the mindset and perseverance to live and push through difficult times, whether it's life is happening for you, not to you, like you referenced, whatever it is. Have I had moments of what the hell? Yeah. People, you know, they get a diagnosis, they accept the prognosis, and then it really becomes the end. And for me, it was just, okay, this is not a part of the journey I expected, but let's go.
So well said. And Kingdom MLM, as you're listening to this, I want you to meditate on that phrase that Jessie Lee said, which is you can have the diagnosis, but don't accept the prognosis. And whether that's in a stage 4 cancer diagnosis, or there's things that we say against our lives and our businesses all the time, aren't there, right? I came from this type of family. I can't do this because of whatever. This seems impossible. I'm thinking to myself, what are the things that I'm leading into as a prognosis that is like a curse over my life that I just need to break through right now? But we have to break that step.
I love it because you could do it with network marketing in general. So when I look back almost 13 years ago in January, first starter pack, and I said, all right, let's do this thing. Let's make $300. I looked at all the same stuff you guys do. By you guys, I'm referring to the overall everyone listening to this. I Googled as well. Okay. I saw the same websites that said scam alert, scam alert, scam alert, pyramid scheme, pyramid scheme. Oh, income disclosures. I looked at all of it. But it's almost like my perspective over negativity or what you can and cannot control must be very different than most people's. Because when I saw that, and I remember thinking to myself, so you're telling me there's a chance? You're telling me that people make $1 million doing this is what you're telling me. But most people will look at stuff like that and they'll say things like, oh, see, no, massive scam, won't work. Nobody makes money. Nobody's successful. That's the same thing as getting a diagnosis and accepting a prognosis. Diagnosis, okay, I've decided I'm going to become a network marketer. Amazing. Prognosis, not that good. Okay, but like, are we going to win? Or are we going to lose? Because for me, it was never, oh, I'm going to be whatever people say, the 99%, like whatever, which is so fake anyhow, which is not the point of this conversation. But like, I just decided to be the 1%. So what if more people that were listening to this just decided, okay, I'm going to be the best. I'm going to be the best. I'm going to live my best life. I'm going to be the person who decides my fate, not a Google article or not whatever. And I do that with everything, any statistic about anything.
I want to touch on a topic that you mentioned, talking about hate articles and stuff like that. Because in the challenges, it's been really, really painful for me to see that as you're being vulnerable. And this is what everyone should expect when you are vocal and you're transparent. There's going to be both sides of the coin. And it's so sad. And that's one big reason why I wanted to do this podcast with you as well, too, because Jessie Lee's an amazing human being. We're all faulty, right? We all got fault and stuff, but Jessie Lee's awesome. But hate that's out there as well, too, in some specific places. I want to ask, how do you manage with that? How do you grapple with that when you're going through your life?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's interesting. So I got a call from Ed. I don't know Ed Milet, obviously. So we're really good friends. He's also my business coach. He calls me. He's like, this is crazy. Like the amount of messages we've gotten and whatever. And I said, I could have warned you, you know? And he's like, what? I said, I am the most loved person in network marketing and I am the most hated. So when you have great success in something, it's just expected. And no matter who you are, when you're doing something great in life, no matter what that is, that could be anything. That is not a business thing. That is not whatever. That is just a statement. If you're passionate about something and you are going after something that's important to you in life, you are going to have people who hate what you're doing and you're going to have people who love what you're doing. And so it was really hard. I'd say about, like, I guess it's a little over 2 years ago is when it got really loud for the first time. And I kind of laughed at first. I would actually do little clapback videos about them because I'm like, what? Just because their statistics made no sense. Their just vitriol all over the internet just made no sense. I was just, what is going on? Like, and all of them except for one person I've never even met.
Wow.
And the one person I haven't seen in 4 years now. Like, I don't know you if I haven't seen you in 4 years, because my growth as a human being is just, I'm just not the same person. But they seem to be worse than they ever were. But I guess that's not the point of the conversation. I just kept thinking to myself, these people don't even know me. They're so fast to type behind their keyboards and just say horrible things about me. Half these people think I'm faking the cancer stuff, which is like, what? And then I just realized, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, you cannot convince somebody who is so stuck in their own ways about anything to completely change. So I just said, I'm just going to continue living the way that I am. I'm going to continue to become a better version of me. I'm going to continue to show up and inspire people, educate people. And I've had to train and talk to people that I love, because people come to me like, they're making videos about me now, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, they don't want to stop you because they know they can't. And so if you're going through it right now, guys, just set boundaries. I had to ask myself at one point, I'm like, okay, the best version of Jessie Lee or the next version of Jessie Lee, what does she do? Does she go read comments about that are said about her? Because I've never watched a video ever in the whole thing. I've never seen one of these videos on me because I just knew that was going to send me down a spiral. I was like, oh, no. But I've read comment sections. Like, does the best version of Jessie Lee read comment sections about her? No. Okay. Does the best even pay attention to the 5 people that can't stand me? And then, like, the 5 people who will make videos and the rest who will make crazy comments?
Yeah.
No. Would I be friends with these people in real life? Like, do we have anything in common? Would they be people that I want to spend time with, that I feel like I could build a life with, that I want to be friends with, that I would want to do any kind of interaction with? No. Why am I worried about those people when there's and I'm talking hundreds of thousands of people with their hand raised, like, Jessie Lee, hello, I'm right here. So it's like, if we play down in the mud with people, this isn't anything, by the way, anyone going through anything, if you play down in the mud, you all this great stuff. You miss all this beautiful stuff. And my goal has never been to be liked by everybody. Okay. And so if we start to live a little bit more like, don't worry so much, this is not your playground. I made a joke the other day on the internet. I'm like, I figured it out. I found out why there's so much hate on the internet. Because when you're in grade school and it's like, here's the directed kids, which I was in directed math, so that's no hate on them. Okay. There's the directed kids. Here's your merit kids, which is like your average kids, right? And here's your here's your honor students. I figured it out. They took all the kids, the AP kids, the honors kids, the merit kids, and the directed kids, and they said, here's the internet. And so and we do not belong in the same class, like we sometimes it's good to have a little bit of separation. I'm kidding.
It's so true though, right? If we play to people's approval, I'm a natural people pleaser, self-professed. But even you look at Jesus, I mean, Jesus got crucified for speaking truth, right? So for any one of us here that really want to make a major impact in the world, major impact for the kingdom, it isn't that if you will have trials, it's when you have trials, but it's what you're going through and that's why if you're not following Jessie Lee, follow her, because you're going to learn this real time. You're going to see exactly how this all works and everything. So Jessie Lee, I know we don't have too much time, but I do want to end on some positive notes here, because after you've gone through this whole last, 9 months or however long it's been, and you've been battling cancer. And once again, if you're not following Jessie Lee's story, watch her YouTube video. You're going to see all these details. But how perfect of timing. Yesterday, I know you got a phone call from your oncologist. Could you tell us about this? What happened?
Yeah. I'll talk about it all day. So it's interesting because the cancer journey is full of just surprises. Like I mentioned before, no one really talks about certain parts of it, so you don't really know what to expect. Well, this is a perfect example. I've had like gastritis or diverticulitis or just expanded abdomen, bloating, kidney pain. I had kidney stones like a month ago. I'm like, my body's falling apart, man. Had this ovarian cyst. Like I really was just, I didn't even want to do the scan if we're being super honest. But sometimes having information is power. And if something really bad is going on, which I had built it up in my mind, like this is very bad. Which I guess goes back to mindset. But anyhow, I'm like, I just think I need some knowledge around this because I had a really positive CT scan 2 months ago and then had gotten news a week after that I have this mass on my ovaries, which is cancerous and blah, 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 which is like, come on, man, it's vascular and it's whatever. And I really felt the thing explode while I was doing ozone, which was super painful. But I'm like, okay, I think it's gone. So I'm like, all right, let me do this PET scan. I did the PET scan on Monday last week. And I got the printout Tuesday, which means the doctor had it on Tuesday last week. This is now 8 days ago. I didn't get a phone call. And so I kept thinking, so then I plug it all into ChatGPT. Anytime you have medical stuff, I really recommend this. Take copy and paste whatever it is from your doctor and all their crazy jargon and just throw it into ChatGPT. Wow. And ChatGPT basically was like, this is, whatever, this is, whatever. And so I was not, and I said, please say this to me like I'm a 5-year-old. So it's like, your little soldiers are working in your lymph node and it's protecting you. And if anything is serious, don't worry, the doctor will call mom and dad. I'm like, but anyway, so I had a little bit left, he hadn't called yet, it had been a week. And he calls yesterday and I actually looked at my phone and I kind of went, should I just let it go to voicemail? Pick it up because whatever. And he just said, no, like this is he said stable disease again. He just said, your cancer has the cancer in you. I don't know how he described it. I don't call it my cancer. So the cancer that's currently inhabiting your body, I'll say it like that, is decreasing everywhere. The lymph nodes have gone back completely. No spread anywhere. Liver's clear. Gallbladder's clear. Kidneys are clear. Everything's clear. And he just said, I'll see you in 6 months for a scan. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, what are we doing? Oh my God. And it's weird because like, I feel like, I cried a little, obviously. I had an emotional release from it yet. And I think it's because my brain still feels shocked by it. Like, even though I've put in all this work and I've had the faith and I've kept the mindset, I've done all this stuff, I'm still like, I'm rattled by the whole thing still. So I'm really happy. And now we're just trying to get the pain under control a little bit. So, but really, really good news. And that just goes back to people don't talk about cancer die-off or what any of this feels like. And it does, cancer doesn't want to die. Like it doesn't want to leave the body. Very good news. And so I keep saying this, but thank you so much for everybody for all the prayers. When three gather, right? When three gather, but I've been prayed over by so many amazing people. And so I see the prayers in the comments constantly on my social media. I feel like there's not a minute in the day that goes by that there's not somebody praying for me. And it's like, it's special. And I really am I'm so grateful for all of it. Honestly, I'm grateful for all of it. So, yeah.
Well, Jessie Lee, any last message for the kingdom builder here? Someone that's going through challenges, perhaps someone that wants to make a big impact in the world, really, really praise God through what they're doing. Anything for them?
Yeah, I would just try to remind everybody, you know what? The trials and the tribulations, they truly make you who you're supposed to be. Maybe not everybody is, religious yet. Maybe they haven't found Jesus yet. Whatever the situation is, there's different religions. Go places where the energy feels right. Okay. So for me, that is church. Okay. For me, that is screaming worship music all the time, like a crazy person. For me, that is, reading my Bible. For me, that is a lot of this stuff. But for people who are just kind of struggling with that and they're just like, I'm lost. I don't know. I don't like the idea of religion or any of this. Cool. Like I've been there a million times, done that a million times. Just go where you feel peace. Go where you feel called and you feel like the energy is right here. I feel like I'm guided to be here. I feel like I belong here. You might find God, right? So, and that just goes back to me truly believing that this is not in my control. This is in his control. And I wish more people really understood that, because there's a lot of people that go through so much stuff and they're constantly like pointing fingers and blaming and blaming and blaming. Find peace everywhere. And then you might be shocked at the miracles that will just come into your life, because it's the same God we've always served, right? Same God from thousands of years ago. So why wouldn't miracles happen to you? And I think more people need to have that positive mindset. Why wouldn't it be you? Why wouldn't you be blessed by miracles? So I guess that's what I would say to anybody.
Amen to that, sister. Well, Jessie Lee, thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your transparency. Thank you for just who you are, what you do day in and day out. It is well received everywhere. And guys, if you're not following Jessie Lee yet, all the links are below. You can find her easily everywhere. But also, I'm super excited because Jessie Lee, through this, I know your coaching has been elevated to another level.
Yeah.
And if you guys like this, Jessie Lee is the best coach in the world. So if you're looking for that, check it out. Links are in the bio as well too. But thank you so much, sister. Share this, subscribe to this if you're not yet already. And with that, Kingdom Builder, continue to go out there and build your kingdom so that you can elevate God's kingdom. With that, God bless. Bye-bye.